Hello everybody, this is the Newbie Tag Part 2. We got up to question 5, so let's go. With question number 5, what book or book series got you into reading? And the answer for me is a series of beginnings and new beginnings. And effectively it started with this kind of stuff. I mean, after a regular, I should suppose, fairly standard childhood of stories and storybooks. As a teenager, this kind of thing. I think we can see this properly. Here we are. This is obviously book 5 of a series that it has 5 books. Published in the 1980s, and it's just, at the time, for me, I just thought they were absolutely amazing. Almost as good as Lord of the Rings, which I also read at this time. Fortunately, he went on to write a second series called The Malloreon. Yeah, that is. That's the first one. Yeah, book 1 of The Malloreon. And unbelievably, it's not even almost as good. It is as good. Perhaps even better. And of course, very few people ever talk about this stuff on Booktube. Or, of course, there is that one guy. I can't remember his name now. For shame, I can't remember his name. He's got a really good musical intro thing, which is really neat. Yeah, he mentioned one of the books in the Belgariad. But that was, oh yeah, what about this one? This sort of thing. This is my completely beat up copy of Terry Brooks, which seems to be more visible. More people seem to talk about Terry Brooks books than David Eddings for some reason, and I'd rate David Eddings above Terry Brooks, as good as this was, for me at least, as a teenager, as a young teenager. A little bit later, a very, very nice young woman, lady, called Flora, gave me a copy of Anna Karenina, and I don't have it for some reason. I don't know why. But I was much later, late teenage years, when I read Anna Karenina, and that's just atmosphere and literature, and still the best book that I've ever read, although I am reading this fabulous thing. Also, I've read the first book because it's divided up into 4 books. So that was another new beginning, as it were. But I didn't really get into literature even after reading Anna Karenina. And what I read was this. And this is not going to stand up, is it? No, it's not. Anyway, Gibbons' this abridged coffee table thingy of The Decline and Fall, which is fantastic. Bison Books seem to have made really fantastic books. Just yeah. There he is. That's the intro. That's the intro, and then it's Hadrian, and there we start. So that was really my new beginning in history. But still, that didn't kind of kick me off into avidly reading history. Whereas another new beginning was I found in with a magazine that I was subscribed to at the time was an advert by Academic Books, who offered discounted academic leaning books. And I came across this thing, this funny old book. And not knowing really very much about it, about kind of this whole area of history, having only really read a little bit of history. I'd read some stuff about World War II and the trench, not the trenches, the hedgerows after D-Day, and other things like that. But as to this area of history, nothing. I had no idea what it might be. It was very cheap. It was kind of, well, cheapish, and I thought, what the heck? I'll give it a whirl. And what on earth does anyone have to say effectively about such a question? Whoa, wow! But it starts on sentence number 1 on page 1, and is full on crazy, as you might expect, and that kind of sort of was some kind of a whole new area of history that was kind of opened up for me. But still, I'm not avidly reading history yet, and I was sort of knocking around some second-hand bookshops, wondering what's around or what's about, and I came across this delightful thing. Unfortunately, in my having my owned it for a little while, I kind of sort of beat it up a little bit around the edge and so forth. But this lovely thing. There's a fold-out map here and things. This is The Conquest of Mexico by the Boston fellow, Mr. Prescott, that he published way back in the 1840s. And this is a copy, together with original foxing, from 1855. Isn't that fantastic? Just absolutely unreal. And of course, well, maybe I'll do a special video on this. Anyway, this is just written fantastic. His use of language is fantastic. If Gibbons is sort of kind of unique, this is different, but equally amazingly good. Just a really good read. And that kind of sort of led me to check out other things. And at about the same time, I kind of got into the BBC History Message Board, so I kind of took a detour into economic history as well. But still, I then encountered this. And this is the best history book I've ever read. So much so, this is my kind of reading copy that I read. I bought the American version in hardback, which is this one, just because it looks really good. A fantastic front cover. And this is a history book that, well, it's perhaps not very often that we kind of read a history book from cover to cover, just for the sheer heck of reading history. Obviously, there are plenty of people who do so, but there are plenty of people who don't, of course. And this took me from cover to cover on a terrific journey. There was the easiest book as well to read, because it was so enjoyable. It was so good, so well written, and packed with so much evidence, so much primary source evidence, and so much sensible reasoning from that evidence, and all written in a terrifically lucid way, comprehensible and realizable and I think pretty well from this one. This is the final beginning, as it were, and I have been reading history since, quite avidly. Maybe not as avidly as others, but fairly avidly. So I think that covers question 5. Question number, the next question number 6 is, let's leave that there. Oh, no, question number 6. What questions would you ask your favourite booktuber? Well, I don't think I really have a favourite booktuber, but I think they all contribute in their own way, and I follow and have followed a number of them, you guys out there. What questions would I ask? I have about 4 questions that I would like to ask, and the first one is: do you think that people take history too much for granted? Perhaps, especially in literature. Literature-minded people. The second question is: why do you think it is that people seem to be afraid to tell the truth, particularly in history? The third question is: why do you think it is that Marcus Aurelius wrote that he should give up his thirst for books, lest he die a grouch?